God. I clearly haven't looked at myself in a mirror yet today. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the stream. Oh, it's Saturday morning, which means that we are here for the weekend kickoff. Nice little body weight class, strength and stamina focus, so that we can start our weekend off right and just fill ourselves with energy to take us through whatever we need to do or want to do or not do. You know what? If you want to use this class to give yourself the energy to relax and give yourself some true time off, I am here for that. I'm absolutely here for that. Use this class to help yourself to feel that it is okay to take some damn rest time. Perfect. Let's do it. Let's go for it. Hi everybody. It's a beautiful morning out here. I've got my morning routine down really well at this point, where, you know, I get up and I water my plants or just check on them to make sure, to see if they need watering. I water them if they need it. And then I make myself some tea and a little bit of breakfast. I have like a really nice little tea tray from Costco. I take it outside with some writing notebooks and some books for reading and my tarot deck, and I just sit on the porch and play some lo-fi playlists and relax and eat and drink tea and do whatever else I decide to do. This morning it was reading and writing. I decided to, like, a lot of times writing, like I do a lot of poetry in the mornings, and a lot of times it's a way to, you know, work through whatever massive emotions I'm dealing with. And this morning I was like, you know what? I just want to write something silly and fun. And so I wrote a sonnet about a fly that gets fucking killed by a fly swatter. And I loved it. It was great. So that's been my morning. And it's good. And I'm looking forward to a day of relaxation and sort of seeing what other little creative things I can get up to. So yeah, but I'm so happy to be here. This is another great part of my morning routine, at least on Saturdays. Coming here and doing this class with you all. So I'm glad you're all here. I hope that you're looking forward to the next couple of days. You know, I call this a weekend kickoff, and obviously it's based around, you know, at this point, mostly white-collar workers who have the kind of schedule that gives them Saturdays and Sundays off. There are many of us who don't have that, and I want to always be clear that I recognize that this is not necessarily the weekend for everybody. You know, some people have their weekend days in the middle of the week. Some people have non-consecutive 2 days off. God, that used to be me when I had my last food server job at a diner in North Carolina. And my weekend days, we did like trimester schedules, which was awesome. It's like the one food service place that I've ever been to that was like, no, we're setting up the schedule for 3 months, so you know exactly what your schedule is. It never changes, and you can actually plan your life around it. It's like, I don't understand why more places don't do that, but yeah. So it meant that for solid 3-month period, my weekend days were Saturday and Tuesday, I think. It was weird. Either Saturday or Sunday, and then Tuesday. I think it might have flipped off a little bit, but you know, so like, you don't really have a weekend. You don't have like, oh, I have this uninterrupted stretch of 48 hours that I can do all of this stuff with. You have to just sort of find time. So to all of you who have that experience right now, I hear you, I see you, I understand. And I hope that regardless if you're here, hopefully you have today off, or at least have the morning off. And regardless of anything else, I'm glad you're here. And, you know, joining me, getting some exercise in. no matter what you're doing today, it's a good way to start your day. So, woohoo! Let me plug in my laptop because that, you know, would be nice for it. I don't think it probably would enjoy streaming for an hour and a half without a power source. All right, my friends. Ooh, it's time to get going. So let's go through our pre-class checklist. We've got body weight today, so no piles of weird stuff. I was setting up the room this morning and suddenly went, oh, I should probably put the laundry detergent back in the closet, huh? But no, for today we have our usual pre-class checklist. So we've got our water bottles. We've got our comfy clothes. We've got our mats set up right over there. And if you're using fitness wearable, now is the time to turn it on. Back to high intensity interval training. Man, we have a class plan. I've started doing all of my class planning for the week on Sundays, which is great because it means that whatever class I put together for today, or for any day, it has nothing to do with like my emotional state on that day, you know, so I'm not like coming to class and being like, I'm gonna take it easy. So I looked at the class plan this morning and went, woo, I've got a good one for y'all today. And for me too, because I'll be over here doing it as well. So don't worry, we'll all be suffering together. But for now, we got our watches going. It's time for our warm-up. Let me get my water bottle out of the way of the speaker. Make sure that you can hear that correctly. Hiya! Yes. It's very confusing to be a glasses wearer who's nearsighted, and who likes to exercise and move and dance and stuff like that, because I don't generally do any of those things with my glasses on. But I like to teach with my glasses on, so it's just a constant struggle of putting things on my face and taking them off. Will she ever get contacts, you ask? Well, I tried them in college. Wasn't crazy about them, but I think contact technology has improved over the years since I was in college. So we'll see, but for now, on your mats, on your backs, 1 foot crossed over the opposite knee. We start with our hip rocks and bridges as soon as you hear that timer go off. Here we are, my friends, ready to kick off another weekend. Oh my goodness. Woo! And I'm going to remind you, because I feel like I need the reminder as well, this is the warm-up sequence. We are not going into the sequence trying to go for 110%. We're not trying to turn up our power and our energy up to 11 right out of the gate. We are here to boot up systems. I feel like it's easier to understand that as a concept when you're doing class at 9 a.m. on a Saturday, or, you know, or even 11 a.m., which is what it is on the East Coast, or, hey, 8 a.m. if you're joining from the West Coast. But when you're doing a class earlier in the morning like this, and you get to switch feet, you get to really feel the truth of we are booting up. You know, we are not, just like we don't leap out of bed and immediately go, you know, running around like crazy people getting everything done. We have boot up sequences, and we do that for exercise too. And that's one of the ways that we keep ourselves healthier and safer, is by letting our bodies have this time to warm up and to turn on all of the sequences and processes that have to take place so that we can be lying here on our backs, rocking our hips up into the air, and then bridging them up into the air. So remember that we are not going for full-on intensity. We are here just hanging out, now lying on our sides in a nice straight line, doing our best Jane Fonda impression. Really annoyed at the car that is on the street that is just perfectly placed so that the glare of the sun from its windshield shines under my porch and into my eyes. So that's fun. But yeah, we're chilling. We're just doing some leg lifts right now, engaging our core for the first time to help maintain this position. This sort of, it's a little bit of a balance, not a huge balance, but you know, if you let your core go, you feel the difference. Suddenly, I don't have control over where my hips are staying, and so they have more of a tendency to try to roll back or roll forward, and then we roll out of the position. So it's not, you know, a balance where we're gonna fall, but it is a balance where we're gonna lose the position if we don't maintain some control over the weight of our torso. All right, now that top foot flat on the floor in front of that bottom knee, going along, lifting the bottom leg. Oh yeah, there we are. I don't know why I'm in all black today. It was completely unintentional. My process for choosing exercise clothes is basically just reach into drawer. Hey, I pulled something out. That looks good. And today, it happened to be this very stylish all black ensemble. So here we are. Hopefully you can see me. Maybe I should move the violin so that I don't have black on black. But yeah, oh man. This is nice. I'm actually feeling nice and relaxed right now. You know, most of the things that I say out loud and that I advise you to do, all right, top foot behind that bottom knee, are things that I need to remind myself of as well. You know, it's really easy to, especially on days when you're feeling really energized going into class, it's really easy to be like, all right, yeah, woo, time to throw out all that energy right at the beginning of class. And you know, I'm no exception to that. And so it's important for me to remind myself that it is okay to be booting up. It is okay to not be, you know, lifting my leg up as high as it possibly can go, because I'm still getting the warm up, and I'm also giving my body and my brain and my muscle fibers time to go, ooh, we appear to be moving. Let's make sure that we've got everything going that needs to be going. All right, second side for our leg sequence. Oh, thank God. Okay, now I no longer have reflecty windshield in my eyes, so that's good. Yeah, the rail of my balcony, it's a full-on rail, so like when I'm sitting on the porch, I can't, you know, see anything, see the street or anything, which is really lovely, but it doesn't actually come all the way down to the actual floor of the porch. There's a little gap there, and obviously that doesn't really have an impact 9 times out of 10. But when you're lying on your floor in the living room, warming up for the day's class, suddenly you become aware of this thing that never really struck you before. All right, here we go. Second leg sequence on this side. Well, and of course, you know, it's August now. Happy August, everybody. We've somehow made it to August. I don't know how, but of course the sun is shifting a lot more, you know, as we start heading in towards fall, and so we're going to have very, very different lighting patterns for a while. I'm definitely going to be investing in lighting for my streaming setup, because, you know, once we head into wintertime, basically all of the afternoon classes will be after the sun goes down. And, you know, I'm used to using a lot of natural light as part of my lighting for these classes, and that will no longer be an option. So definitely have to get new lighting figured out before we hit the point where the sun's going down at 4 in the afternoon. Yeah, I don't know how we made it to August. I was talking about this a bit yesterday in our functional home fitness class too. It's just, you know, time seems to be running in two modes, except running them simultaneously, where it feels like every month has been a million years, but also has taken no time at all. And, you know, I was saying yesterday, like, it's been 4 months, 5 months almost that I've been streaming, because I started this not long after the BRC closed down for quarantine, which was mid-March. That was sort of, I remember that week in mid-March because it was a week that, like, basically all of the major plans that I had for the month of March got shut down the same week, practically the same day, where it was like, okay, there was a visit that was coming up that was no longer happening, and I was going to do an audition for a local theater organization that got canceled, and suddenly, you know, my job teaching fitness classes was going on standby because the gym was closing down, and it was just, I mean, that was not a good week. But, you know, to think about how far we've come since then, how far this channel has come since then, you know, it is a good reminder that even with everything that's happening, even with all of the major stressors on us right now, you know, we can still build things, we can still achieve things, and that's a good thing to remember. It's also good to remember on the other side of this, though, that if all you feel that you have the bandwidth for right now is surviving, that is totally legit, okay? You know, I remember when quarantines first started and there were a lot of these terrible memes going around being like, oh, well, if you don't come out of quarantine with at least one new skill or hobby, then you never lacked the time, you lacked the discipline. And that's bullshit. You know, there is so much happening right now, and we are all in survival mode in many ways. And I mean, I know that I have been, and I feel like I'm finally pulling out of that a little bit, but you know, that took months. That took months to get to a place where I finally feel like I have the brain space and the capacity for thinking outward past just, you know, today and tomorrow. And everybody's brains work differently, move at different speeds. So if you're still really struggling with, I want to be doing so many things, but I just do not feel like I can get my brain to concentrate on them, that is totally okay. It is totally okay. We are under intense pressures right now from all sides. And if your greatest success right now is that you got out of bed and made some breakfast, or got out of bed, then that's awesome. You got out of bed. I want you to pat yourself on the back. Obviously, if you're taking this class right now, then you got out of bed and made it onto a mat, which is really awesome. But the point is, we can be doubly hard on ourselves in times like this because we live in a society that has trained us to believe that we have to always be productive in the capitalist sense of the word. And so we really get down on ourselves when we feel like we are not being productive. We are not making something, doing something, hustling and grinding and yada, yada, yada. And man, it's a trap. It's a trap, my friends. You do not have to always be hustling and grinding to have worth. You do not always have to be producing to be successful. If what you need to focus on right now is just getting through each day, then you do that and know that I am super proud of you, because you are. You're getting through each day. And that's a huge thing. There's a lot going on, my friends. There's a lot going on. And even on the days when we're feeling better, we know it's still there. We know it still exists. And, you know, so it's never fully out of our brains. So I want you to feel proud of yourself for whatever your successes are, whether it's something as broad as I am, you know, building out some new content for a stream, or if it's something as specific as I got up and took a shower today. I'm proud of you. You know, you're doing what you need to do to take care of yourself, and that's huge. And I want you to always, always be proud of yourself for that, for whatever success is for you today. Oh man, we're almost to the end of the warm-up. We got to the cardio section without my really even paying attention. Here we are at our kick-throughs, taking them nice and deliberately, making sure that our shoulders are engaged each time we go onto that one arm, making sure that our knees are 90-degree angles, knee pointing up at the ceiling, so that we're not putting unhealthy torque pressure on there as we spin from side to side. You know, if you feel up for jumping from foot to foot in the center, awesome. And if you don't worry about it. I didn't for ages. And here we are at our final item. Woo! Let's get ourselves doing those nice burpees, wave push-up, victory clap up at the top. Really make sure you can hear that clap, all right? I want you to be cheering yourself on and cheering on anyone else in class with us today, or in class taking the stream later on, because that is the beauty of the internet, is that we can come back and look at this class later. Woo! Awesome, my friends. Let us rest, grab some water, and just feel really good. Made it through the warm-up. Hey, a quarter of class is done. Yes. That can be a helpful way to look at it. You know, we're a quarter of the way through class. That warm-up is 16 minutes. And for an hour-long class, you know, we're more than a quarter of the way through class. 16 minutes. Hey. So enjoy. Hydrate, always. Fitness mom voice in your head. All right, my friends. So we have not done this in a little bit, and I'm a little scared of the exercises that I chose for it, but here we are. So this is a sequence called pyramids. And I'm not gonna turn on a timer for this, and you'll see why in a second. So we are going to have 3 exercises. And what we are going to do is we are going to go through all 3 of them, first doing 21 reps each, then doing 15 reps each, then doing 9 reps each, okay? And you can take rests between each exercise. I'm only allotting about 10 to 12 minutes for this, so keep that in mind. And if you add in the rest period after that, then you have maybe 14 minutes to get this done, but then you wouldn't have a full rest before we go into the next thing. But, so, obviously we'll be doing them at our own pace, but yeah, it's intense. 21 doesn't sound like a lot until you're in it. And then you're like, oh, this is a lot. And then obviously we have fewer and fewer, but we're more and more fatigued. So, oh, it's fun. It's intense. Yeah, I definitely looked at my paper this morning and went, oh man, I was really bringing it when I planned this class. So, the first exercise is going to be squat jumps. So we do our little squat, jump up in the air, 2, 3, like that, okay? Over and over again. Then we are going to do push-ups. You can do whichever version you think you can maintain. So if you are like, I don't think I can maintain a plank for 21 reps, then do them from the knees, okay? And then maybe when you get down to 9 reps, you can do those from a plank. But however you're doing them, make sure that you've got your shoulders directly over your wrists. Even if you're starting from the knees, see, I still maintain most of that plank position with my body. And keep your elbows close to your sides as you do them. So we're really focusing the movement on our triceps. And then your third exercise is going to be full body pike extensions. So essentially it's a full body tick-tock, but without the alternating from side to side. So we start in this pike position, our arms on either sides of our knees, and extend our body out, legs still off the ground, chest and arms still off the ground, and then come back up. And that's 1, and 2, and 3, etc., etc. Okay? So we're not turning on a timer for this. We're just getting on our mats right now, and we're going to start. So I'm going to have sort of a timer going for myself so I don't let us go too long. But keep in mind, yes, you can take rests, but you also want to make sure that you get to the end of this by the time we move on, okay? So balance those 2 things out however you need to. All right, my friends, so here we are. We are getting started. So starting with those squat jumps, remember, 21 reps, 2, 3, 4. The difficult thing for me is trying to count while talking. So I have this really awkward count going in my head that I think is accurate. I think that was 21. I'll watch that back later and be like, huh, I wonder if that was 21 or not. Oh, all right. Now coming down for the push-ups. So one of the things about the pyramid structure is making sure that you're maintaining form, especially as you get more and more tired, okay? So I want my 21st push-up to be just as good as my first one. Woo. And if you're wondering if you can take rests in the middle of this, sure, you can. Remember where you are. stretch out a little bit. Remember, we always want to be going for form, correct form. So if you're really going along and you're like, I don't think I can keep the form correct without taking a little bit of a rest, then go for it. Just remember that you still have to finish your reps, okay? And sometimes it can be good to take a rest in there, in the middle, but when we go back to it, the fatigue hasn't fully gone away, and now you're more aware of it. So it's a balancing act, right? You really have to pay attention to what is the balance between wanting to get all of the reps out with good form, and can I do that while doing them all in a row? And if I do take a break in the middle, what impact is that going to have? Okay? So it is a constant balancing act, and I don't have a great answer for you. I think a lot of times it will depend on how you're feeling that day. It'll depend on the exercise, and yeah, it will depend on a lot of factors that we can't really control. So just keep that in mind, all right? Woo! We're about 3 minutes in. I have finished my first run of these pyramids, and boy howdy, feeling good, but this is a new skill. This is a new type of multitasking, trying to talk out loud while also counting in my head. I feel like what I might have to do for myself is like have some sort of a count going on my phone, but I don't know how I would do that. Who knows? We're making it work. My friends, that's the very definition of this class, making it work, okay? Whatever we need to do to get ourselves exercise and moving through our day is what we're going to do. And it's not always going to be perfect, but what do we talk about? How perfect is the enemy of good. If you are constantly holding back and because you don't feel like you're able to do something perfectly yet, well, you're never going to reach that mythical place. A, because none of us can, and B, because in order to get better at something, you have to be willing to do it in the first place. And you have to be willing to suck at it for a while and over again. And sometimes you suck at it even when you are good, and when you feel like you have enough experience, you know? Progress in anything is never a straight line. Even though we want it to be, it is never the straight line that we want it to be. And if you are able to come to terms with that, then you will be better able to improve and to push yourself through the hard times and the times when you feel like you're at a plateau that you're never going to get through, you know? You will get through it, I promise. I can't promise that there won't be another plateau after you do, because there will. Because again, progress, not a straight line. But the only bad thing you can do is not start. And I hate it when people give that aphorism because, you know, it makes it seem simple, and it's not. There are plenty of reasons why starting is hard. And we do not give enough credence to that, you know? We tend to throw out, oh, just start, as if that is super easy, as if we don't have, you know, brain chemistry going on that might be getting in our way, as if we don't have life circumstances that might be getting in our way, you know, financial instability, jobs that are crushing our souls and expecting all of our time, you know, sick relatives or friends or arguments with loved ones or breakups or any one of a million things. All of that gets in our way, and all of that makes it hard to start, okay? I know, you know, there are days when, you know, I've got brain stuff going on such that it's a struggle to just get out of the chair that I've parked myself in, you know, to do something as simple as grab some food or take a shower or put on clothes that aren't my pajamas. We all have that. And every time you do start, that's another thing to be proud of. That's another success to celebrate, because there's so frequently so much that is trying to get in our way and trying to keep us from starting. So be proud if and when you are able to start. And on the days when maybe you're not able to, remind yourself that it's okay, that progress is not a straight line, and that shaming yourself and getting down on yourself is not going to be the way to move yourself forward, progress-wise, you know? So we're just going to be here, and we're going to be doing the best that we can. And, you know, I think that we will be surprised at how good our best can be. All right, my friends, I am on my 9s at this point, so hopefully you are close to that as well. Feeling good. Man, push-ups are an intense exercise. They're such a ubiquitous one, and you know, if you're anything like me, we were probably first introduced to them in a PE class at some point, and so it feels like, you know, by age 36 that I should be expert at them, and I am definitely better at them than I used to be, but they are still really intense, and I feel it. And especially doing something like this pyramid structure, I really start to notice the points where I can feel that my form is trying to slip out of line, you know? So keep that in mind. Always keep that in mind. You can be a professional and working out 4 or 5 days a week, studying all this stuff and all that jazz, and you can still struggle with some of the fundamentals, you know? Push-ups, I think, are ubiquitous because they are a really good exercise, and they're one of the few body weight exercises that really works your arms. It can be really hard to get the same kind of pump for your arms when you're not using weights, when you're just doing body weight exercises. So I am proud of myself every time I do them, and I feel the improvements that I have made over the years. And I also recognize and honor the fact that I have more improvements that I need to make in them. And that's awesome because, again, perfect is the enemy of good. Perfect doesn't actually exist. And so I want to continue challenging myself and pushing myself to get there. I left my water bottle over here. That's terrible. Eventually I'll just fill my living room with water bottles. All right, my friends, it has been 12 minutes, and now I'm turning on a rest timer. So if you're still finishing out, you've got 2 more minutes, but pay attention to what I'm saying because I'm going to be talking to you about what we're doing next. All right, so we are going to do now a perpetual motion set, 30-second work intervals, so it's the smaller version, and we'll have our 3 exercises. We'll go through them 3 times, and here are our exercises. First, we're just going to do a front plank from the elbows, held for those 30 seconds, okay? So we're just holding this plank. My shoulders are directly over my elbows now, so I'm still creating that nice, stable, perpendicular structure with the floor, keeping my butt out of the air and just holding for 30 seconds. Easy peasy, right? Who says that, Blanche? Oh my God. All right, so next we're going to do kneel to squats. So remember that your goal is to keep your head the same distance from the floor at all points during this. I'm going to show you from the side first. So we start up on our knees. I've got my back in a flat back, but I'm letting my butt come out a little bit, engaging my core to keep all of this safe and stable, became safe. And what I'm going to do is first, I'm going to lift up one foot. So I've got it flat on the floor. Then push forward. Now I'm in that nice squat position. My head still the same distance from the floor. Then take that first leg, go back down to the knee, and then that other leg. And then we do it again. We change our starting leg each time, okay? And then our third exercise is going to be our ankle reaches. So we're going to be flat on our backs, legs extended straight up into the air, and engaging the core to lift our shoulders and our back off the floor. And we're reaching for the outside of the opposite ankle each time. So those are our 3 exercises. We've got front plank on the elbows, kneel to squats, and ankle reaches. And remember, perpetual motion means that you are taking as little time as possible to switch between exercises. So as soon as that timer goes off, we are planking. Get ready, get set, hey. So when we're here in this plank, in this held position, I want you to really concentrate on continuing to breathe, okay? We have this tendency in held positions to think that we have to hold our breath at the same time. And that is not going to help us actually perform the exercise because our bodies need that oxygen to break down all of our fuel sources. So always breathing. Now we're doing our kneel to squats, and it's harder to think that you should be holding your breath for these, but I say it every time we do a held position because you see that instinct. People don't want to throw their bodies out of line as they're holding, and breathing does that. It shifts our bodies because we're expanding our chests so that our lungs can take more oxygen in. And so I understand the instinct, and I certainly have had it and still have it sometimes. Sometimes you really do just need that check-in, need to be like, okay, I am holding my breath, and that is not helping as I try to do this exercise. My body is not thanking me for it. It is not going, oh good, now I can hold this position better. It's going, what the hell, man? What just happened to my energy source? Okay, so always making sure that you're breathing. Slow and steady. You know, you don't have to be going like that, especially in a held position. It provides a really good, you know, active rest essentially, because you're in that like really intense plyometric pose, and you're just holding it there. You know, you're not moving your muscles, but you are engaging your muscles. So use it as an opportunity to slow your breath, to try and slow your heart rate a little bit, to try and really concentrate on both of those areas. Part of the reason that we like doing high intensity interval training is for those opportunities to learn how to bring our breath back under control and bring our heart rate back under control as quickly as possible. Okay? Ooh, man, you were almost done with your second time through, which means that as soon as that timer goes off, we're back on those front planks from the elbows. So getting into those positions as quickly as possible. We're not wasting any time fiddling with our shirts or trying to sneak a little rest in there. All right, perpetual motion. You are always either doing the exercise or moving swiftly into position to start the next exercise, okay? So I know all of the ways that our brains try and trick us into taking a rest. Believe me, I too have done them all. We all have done them all. But one of the things we're doing in class is we're training our brains to, our brains need a little bit of a push to go for that challenge, to remind themselves that they do not have to be trying to minimize discomfort all of the time, and that in fact in the modern era we want to be expending all of this energy now here in class, so that, you know, if the day comes that we are running from a cheetah, we can actually get ourselves going. But our brains just need that little push. All right, my friends, well done. Ah, yeah. Oh, what a good Saturday morning workout. All right. Oh, we're gonna do another perpetual motion, still at 30 seconds. We're sticking with 30-second work intervals for the rest of today. Will there be a cardio tabata at the end? Who knows? Just gotta keep you guessing. I gotta keep you guessing sometimes, my friends. All right, so for our next one, 3 exercises, but 2 of them are just the same exercise on different sides. So we're gonna be doing our alternating one leg squats. So starting down here, nice open position. So I'm down in the squat on this leg fully extended. I feel that nice stretch along the inside of my thigh. And I'm just gonna push up on this leg high enough that I can start bending this knee, and then come down to this side and just go back and forth and back and forth, okay? And then our other 2 exercises, we're gonna be doing planks from the side on our elbows this time. So Again, perpendicular line. Keep those hips up. Don't let them sag down. Other arm pointing up towards the ceiling. If you want to add a little more intensity in, you can lift that top leg, but it is not required. And then when the horn goes, we go to our other side and do the same thing. Okay, so alternating one leg squats and then our side elbow planks on each side. All right, so back to your mats, and as soon as that timer goes, we are moving. All right, so here we are. Ooh. One of the things that you will notice as we move forward with class is that you're probably getting sweat everywhere, okay? So if you are feeling that on your mat, probably a good idea to have some towels with you when you're doing this class so that you can wipe things down, because you know, as our surface gets covered in sweat, it starts changing the tactile relationship between our feet and the mat, where, you know, suddenly it's a little slipperier, a little less possible to hang on, to grip with your feet, and that's when we start ending up in a place where we're at the risk of sliding or falling, you know, going in a direction we don't intend to go. So again, we want to always be practicing spatial awareness, okay? We want to make sure that we know where we are in space, where all the objects around us are in space, and that we know how our surfaces feel under our feet, you know? One of the reasons that I like working out barefoot is because there is nothing blocking my ability to feel how stable the surface below me is. You know, when you're wearing sneakers, there's that additional layer of padding. And for some of us, it's necessary to have, you know, if you have plantar fasciitis, then you probably do need to wear sneakers when you're working out because you need that extra stability. And that's totally fine. For me, I am lucky enough to not have that. And so for me, I prefer having that tactile experience so that there's not an additional layer of information that my brain has to make it through to figure out, does this surface feel like it's getting a little slick, you know? So whatever works for you, always, you know your body best, you know its capabilities best, you know its weak points best. So if it makes sense for you to work out with sneakers on, then work out with sneakers on. The only thing that I do not like people to do is work out in socks, because socks, not only do they create an additional layer of information that you have to work through, but they are also very slippery. They are not designed for traction, and so you are really setting yourself up to end up sliding in a direction that you weren't expecting, and thus ending up with an injury of some kind. You know, I stopped wearing socks at dance rehearsals after I did a really bad sprain while I was in the middle of a rehearsal. And, you know, I don't regret it. So I only ask that you are either barefoot or wearing sneakers, not socks. I think it's just safer all around to make sure that whatever you're using has enough traction against the surface of your mat, okay? So that's my safety tip for today. Woo! Yeah. There we go. Awesome. Everybody, flex your arms. Give them a good flex. Just really take pleasure in your muscles. You know, that's one of the things I like most about exercising is that it gives you the opportunity to take so much pride and pleasure in, like, feel how strong I am, feel how powerful I am, you know? Like, oh, cool, I can see a little bit of a curvature of muscle that wasn't there before. And that is so cool. So really, I think that that's one of the most fun things, is just being able to go, whoa, my body's kind of a badass. It can do all sorts of stuff that I didn't know that it could do. All right, my friends, one more perpetual motion set, and then we'll see. We'll see what we do after that. But one more set, 3 exercises. First, toe squats, our old favorite. Hip width position, keeping our backs straight up and down as we come all the way down and then go all the way back up. Make sure that your core is engaged so that you're not letting your back go somewhere that your body's not expecting it to go. Then we're gonna do star jumps. So star jumps, we're either letting the arms bounce up and down like this, or fingertips meet above your head and elbows come down to the side as you land. One of the two. And then for our third, we are gonna do a held front superhero. So on your stomach, lifting your legs off the floor, your chest off the floor, your arms off the floor, and we're just holding here for 30 seconds. If you want to add a little movement, you can bend your arms at the elbow and then extend them behind. Bend your arms at the elbow and push them forward. Okay, so if you want to add that in, you can. If you want to just hold for the 30 seconds, you can do that too. So toe squats, star jumps, held front superhero. Alrighty. Let's get going. As soon as you hear that timer. All right. Woo! Just channeled Matthew McConaughey there for a second. Not really sure why, but we're gonna go with it. I guess everybody should channel Matthew every once in a while. Make sure your core is engaged. It's gonna help you keep your back straight up and down. And again, we're putting a lot of weight and pressure on a relatively small surface area because we're coming up to the balls of our feet. So you want to minimize the amount of stress on your ankles as they take on all of that weight, okay? But now we're doing our star jumps, going along, really pushing ourselves through. Oh, what a beautiful day outside. And now down into our front superhero. So remember, starting on time means taking as little time as possible to move into each exercise. All right? So always keep that in mind as we're going. You don't want to be trying to sneak a rest in there. Be like, oh God. All right, hang on. Let me just slowly stand back up. Suddenly, 10 seconds have gone by, and you're like, oh, where did my workout go? Well, it went to moving really slowly between exercises. So always keep that in mind. You know, it's part of our bare minimum. Always starting on time, stopping on time, and doing the exercise correctly. That is our triangle. It's important for us to always be pushing ourselves towards that, okay? Oh man, look at us go. Holy cow. I love it. I love it, my friends. We are just moving right along, cooking with gas, as my mother and grandmother would say. And, you know what I'm gonna do after this? I'm gonna take a very well-deserved shower. I'm gonna get some clothes on for the day. And I think I will sit out on my porch a little bit more, listen to some music, and just see about what I want to do for the rest of the day. And man, am I excited about that. Woo! I don't know about you, but I am feeling my quads right now as we do our last run of toe squats. I'm sure everybody out there is like, yeah, whose fault is that? It's mine. I don't deny it. It's absolutely mine. And I have no regrets because, you know, you are gonna make it through this. We're gonna have a nice stretching sequence at the end. And then, you know, well, you might be sore tomorrow, entirely possible, but then when you come back around to this class next weekend, you're gonna go, huh, things feel strangely easier for me than they did last weekend. I wonder why. Well, it's because you are kicking ass and taking names right here, right now, getting that weekend started right. Whew. Feeling really proud of yourself because you got up and you made the commitment to get on the mat, get yourself through class, and that is so awesome. Oh, all right, good job, my friends, good job. Okay, you know what? My present to you for the weekend is that we are gonna go ahead and stretch ourselves out. So, no final cardio Tabata. We've done some really awesome strength and stamina work today. Man, I know I'm feeling like I just had a great workout, and I hope you are too. So let us reward ourselves, shall we? Let's do some nice stretching, nice cool down period. So just stand on your mat, nice stable position, and we're gonna drop our chins down to our chest and start rolling our heads side to side. Not a full circle, just roll till one ear is pointing down at your shoulder, then back forward and through till the other ear is, and just back and forth, really feeling that nice stretch along the scalings. And now, once you have evened yourself out, we'll do a full circle all the way back around, chin to chest, and other direction. And we're just gonna do Some nice circles. If you, like me, tend to carry your stress in your neck, then it's really good to try and really stretch yourself out a bit. In fact, let your head come up, and I want you to take one hand, feel along the side of your neck. You'll feel this really thick muscle just running all the way down the side of your neck. That's one of your scalenes. And I want you to take that with one hand and just massage it. Just pinch it between your fingers, shake it a little bit, and then move your hand up or down and just give it a nice little massage, and then switch sides and do the same with the other side. It's gonna feel a lot more pliable right now because we just had class. Our muscles are really warm right now. Take advantage of that and really just give it a nice massage. All right, and now we're gonna do our roll down sequence. So we're dropping our chin to chest again, and we're gonna roll ourselves down one vertebra at a time until our hands are on the floor and we're nicely folded over our legs on an 8 count. All right, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Shake your head out a little bit so that you know you're not holding your neck. And I want you to do here, I want you to bend one knee, really sink into that opposite hip for a second, and then bend the other knee, same thing, and just go back and forth just a couple of times, really sinking into those hips. And now straighten back out. See if you can bring yourself a little closer to your legs. And now, again on an 8 count, we're gonna bend at the knees, squat all the way down on 4, and then straighten our legs on 4. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hands behind the ankles, really pulling yourself towards those thighs. Shake your head out again. And now I want you to take your hands to the opposite elbows. So now we're dangling, we're letting gravity help to push us even further down. Sway your torso side to side. Oh yeah. And then let those hands drop. And we're gonna bend the knees and roll up one vertebra at a time. On the 8 count, when you get to the top, do not move, okay? Here we go. Bend your knees, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Stop here. Don't futz with your hair. Don't adjust your clothes. Don't move. Feel that extra height in your spine. Feel the blood moving through your body. Nice deep breath. And again. One more. All right, now you can move, shake your legs out a little bit. Let's come down to our mats. We're gonna start Extending our legs in front of us, feet flexed, straight. Hold your arms out in front of you like this. We're going to start by just doing small pulses like this. My back is flat and I'm not actively trying to push myself super far forward. Just small pulses until I can feel a little bit of resistance from my hamstrings. And now I'm going to go all the way forward, hands to my feet, and fold over my legs. Take one hand, just shake the top of your quad, and then on the other side, you don't want your quads super tight and held here, okay, because that gets in the way of the stretch and makes it more likely that we might end up injuring ourselves, pulling something, straining something, tearing something. So just try and check in, make sure that muscle is still pliable, can be shaken around a little bit. And we're just going to take 4 deep breaths here. Each time you exhale, I want you to try and sink a little lower towards your legs, okay? Ready? Here we go. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And 4. Oh. Release the feet, roll back up. Shake your knees out a little bit. Oh. And then we're going to come into this nice pretzel shape for a little bit of twisting and hip stretching. So I'm going to take one leg and I'm going to fold it inward. So I've got that foot, the heel is right up against the opposite hip. And take this other leg, I'm going to put the foot flat on the floor next to this knee. Then whichever knee I have pointing upwards, take my opposite arm, wrap it around, hug that knee in. So now you're feeling a stretch in that hip, okay? And now I want you to twist away from this knee, towards the back, reach an arm out. We're just looking back behind us as far as we can go, really getting that twist in the back. We're going to take 2 breaths here. Here we go. That's 1. And 2. Then we're going to turn back around. Bring this ankle up onto the knee. We're going to fold forward, still feeling that stretch in the hip. Oh, basically like doing a pigeon pose, except we're not on the ground. Keep this foot flexed. It's going to help protect your knee as we're sort of folding and putting a little pressure right here, okay? So 2 more breaths here. That's 1. And 2. Come back up. Let that knee come off. Unfold. And let's go for the other side. Okay? So recreate this position on the other side. Taking that opposite arm. Hugging this knee into my chest. Twisting back. Reaching behind me, that helps me to maintain the twist. We don't want to be hunching over. So try and keep your back as straight up and down as possible. It's just a lateral twist. All right, 2 breaths here. That's 1. And 2. And then turn back to the front, Bring this ankle up onto the knee. Make sure you're flexing the foot to help protect this knee here. Fold over till you feel that stretch in the hip. And 2 more breaths here. That's 1. And 2. Oh, that feels nice. All right. Last but not least, let's take this nice wide position here. And we're just going to stretch towards each leg. We're going to feel a nice stretch along the hamstring. So turn towards one of your legs. You can have your foot pointed or flexed. Most important thing is you want your knees pointing up towards the ceiling. As with everything, we don't want those knees caving in towards the midline, okay? And just walk your hands down, trying to square your shoulders over the leg as much as possible. So walk your hands forward until you're folded over as far as you can go. And we're going to take 4 breaths here. Ready? Here we go. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And 4. And now, before you come up, take the same arm as the leg that you're over, bring it to the inside, and then open your shoulders out. Take the other arm, reach it way up and over. If you can, grab this foot. If you can't, just holding it like that. You'll feel a nice stretch along the lats there. And we're going to take 2 breaths here. Ready? That's 1. And 2. And then follow the arm back up. Oh. And other side. So turn your shoulders towards that leg, walking down, trying to square your shoulders over it as much as possible. Make sure those knees, both sides, are still pointing up towards the ceiling. We're going to take our 4 deep breaths here. Ready? That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And 4. Now take that same arm, bring it to the inside, open your shoulders out, take that other arm across, feel that nice stretch along the side of your back. 2 breaths here. That's 1. And 2. All right. Oh. Shake those knees out. Wiggle your legs side to side. And then pat yourself on the back because you are done. Oh, what a great class. It just feels so nice to get good stretch sequence in, especially after a class like that. You know, feeling really, really warm. Lots of pliability in the muscles. It's just a great time to work on your flexibility a little bit more there. All right, my friends, that's the end. Your weekend is officially kicked off. And man, I hope that you have something fun or, you know, exciting, or something that is leading towards a goal that you want to achieve, or that you are just going to get some damn good relaxation in. Whatever you have planned, I'm excited for you. And I'm glad that you came here to kick your weekend off with me. So this is the last class in the week. So I'll be back again next week for my usual schedule, starting with perpetual motion on Tuesdays, 5:45 p.m. Mountain Time, followed by jump around Wednesdays at 4:30 p.m. Mountain, functional home fitness on Fridays at 6 p.m., and back around to the weekend kickoff at 9 a.m. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook and Insta at Blanche Case Fitness, Twitter at Blanche C Fitness. I do have a Ko-Fi account if you enjoyed class and feel financially able to send me a donation. They are always appreciated, never required. I also have a YouTube channel, and some content should be coming out on it over the course of the next week. So if you look for Blanche Case Fitness, then that's where I'm going to be keeping VODs from the Twitch channel, as well as additional content over there. You know, there'll be a video going through all of the different components of the standard warm-up so that new students can take a look at that before they get thrown into the fire in one of the streams. There'll be stretching sequences, there'll be technique videos, form videos for different exercises. You know, it's gonna be a slow process, and I'm sure that I'll redo videos along the way as I get better at taping this stuff, because taping movement is always, it's a special challenge, but I'm excited to put stuff up there. And if you enjoyed this class and want to see more content, more types of streams, please consider following. I love building out this community, and this has been so much fun, and I can't wait to see where we go from here. So thank you for joining me on this beautiful, hopefully beautiful Saturday morning, and I hope the rest of your weekend is just as good. Have a great day.